Start recording. All right. Looks good.
Awesome.
Hey, thank you so much for making time for me. I really appreciate it.
For
Um,
sure. I've been looking forward to talking to you.
oh, good. Okay. I I just wanted to interview you. I wanted to get you seem to be the most proactive person in the entire autonomy class. I describe you as an entrepreneur, so I'm going around, interviewing people who I think are entrepreneurs because they're pretty much where I want to be. In fact,
Cool.
let me move this up here so it looks like I'm looking at you. I talked to Tony yesterday, or interviewed. I mean, I've talked to Tony a couple of times, but
Yeah.
I interviewed him yesterday, and I didn't catch his audio. He said a lot of really insightful things.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I use other software called Jitsi for meetings.
Oh yeah, Jitsi.
It's free, but man, Zoom just has such solid dependability and the internal recording. And I'm just really starting to use it more and more.
Yeah, I have a license through my work. Well, I'm gonna look at that Jitsi at any rate.
Jitsi's pretty sweet for like meetings that you don't, that are like not as important. I do a lot of team meetings that way.
Oh,
That
okay.
I
You
don't need to
manage.
record.
Oh well, okay. Well, let's just jump right into it. Maybe at the end, I don't want to take up more than a half hour of your time. Maybe at the end, I can ask you about Autonomy Unlimited.
Oh,
Um,
for sure.
well, I wanted to ask you, how do you define entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship is, to me, is just finding ways to provide value.
That's a good answer. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur? Or
Definitely. Now I do.
oh, how long have you had your own business?
Um, 2012, 13, 2013.
That was a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And I can recap that really quick. I did a service. A friend told me I should turn that into a business. She kind of showed me the ropes of creating a website, getting a business license, and then it was time to market that. And basically spent a year online learning how not to market to people, yelling at people on all caps on social media. And then after that year, I realized everything that I learned by doing it wrong was going to be a much needed service because it was like 2013 before like really Facebook became mandatory on everybody's business, at least for businesses. I saw it coming. So I then quickly created a marketing company. I started off just offering social media help for businesses, and yeah, been doing it since, and just been adding to my skill set from that.
so marketing was always the core of your business?
Yeah, but I didn't really know what marketing, like the whole umbrella term. I was just helping, like helping businesses put social media on their social media accounts. And then I kind of like worked my way back and broader from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's how a lot. Well, that's a good friend that told you to start a business. Then
Hmm.
I need a friend like that. How long had that been in your head, though? The idea of either entrepreneurship or running your own business before you actually did it.
Oh, that was a total foreign concept to me. I I dropped out of school when I was a sophomore and started working, and I really now I call it kind of, yeah, I still call it this, but like working for slave wage, just trading my time for
That's what
an
I did.
hourly rate, and thinking that was all I had available to me. I had a lot of stigma because I dropped out of school. It wasn't until the recent years that I realized like what a great service that was to do, to get out of there as soon as possible. And but even out there working for hourly wages, I was still stuck on this like ladder where there's gatekeepers at every level. I got into the restaurant industry, and that really seemed unattainable to continue. I could either work 60 hours
Yeah.
a week and become a manager and not make that much money. But I worked in restaurants for like a decade and just really felt stuck in that industry without any skills to get out of it until I figured out social media like I did.
That's great. That's really good. So after you had started your company, I want to ask, what were some of the early obstacles and how did you overcome them?
Oh man, really just I was good at what I knew how to do, but as I said, that whole like marketing umbrella concept and how everything ends up plugging and supporting one another into a large marketing strategy, that I was completely oblivious to. I was just
Yeah.
down here like on the runway helping out and learning.
Well, I would consider that a good thing, right? I mean, you started without knowing everything.
Hmm.
And but
Hmm.
but you filled in all the blanks.
Yeah.
What was the roughest blank you had to fill in? Can you think of any one story?
Um, well, I was working for myself for the longest time. I had probably this was the roughest part. No like concept or framework on how to price myself accurately. So I
Yeah.
always underbidded myself for years and years and years. I'm finally confronting that and looking to make a living.
Or you're only solving that problem now?
Yeah, really from like autonomy from this last year of autonomy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Um, Learned helplessness. Was that an issue for you?
Oh yeah. So I have a pretty unique background. Like I said, I dropped out of school. I really got because I was raised in a religious household. I rebelled when I was 16, and so not having any sort of um, experience with substances or temptation, I went off the deep end.
Yeah.
And I've been DJing for 20 years. So my whole 20s, I was a DJ and just lived a very like party animal lifestyle. And from all that, I didn't feel like I gained very many skills, at least not for a resume. And then quit. I addressed my drug issues and got sober in 2012. So around that, and
Oh,
when I pulled my
yeah, that's when
when I
your
pulled my
business
head
took
out of
off?
the fogs,
Okay.
yeah, I got some clarity and then started working. Well, I realized like how underdeveloped I was due to drugs and partying, emotionally, intelligently,
Yeah.
but just my skills in general, especially like the ability to learn, was non-existent, and I hit the ground running. I really haven't stopped um, this desire to learn since coming out of that fog.
That's probably the key to your success. You know, a lot of people have drug problems and a lot of them overcome the drug problems, but a lot of friends that describe, but they don't go on to have any success in business or entrepreneurship. But I want to ask you about support structure in your life. Did you have one or do you have one?
Yeah, I found my now wife. We met at Burning Man, and then we hooked up while I was being a DJ and living the festival DJ life, and um, we both ended up like getting sober together.
Oh.
And so that was probably my at least initial support that I had, was just kind of creating a family unit. And now we have a 2-year-old daughter,
Congratulations.
and the support's just been adding from that anchor.
Do you think you could have gotten where you are if you didn't have that support? Maybe. Would have been harder, obviously.
Would have been harder. You know, one of my friends just really can't wrap his head around my journey. because he says, "I'm really glad you got your girlfriend and she pulled your head out of your
Right.
ass, and got you sober." And that's not what happened. Like I did this. I did this for myself. I know with addiction, if you do it for other people, you do it for a wife, you do it for a kid, you do it for a loved one, then eventually that doesn't last. You have to do it for yourself in order for it to become permanent. So I know I did it for myself, and I would like to say it would have just took me longer. And because having a partner, committing to a partnership, that gives you something to grab hold of and work on. Because it's really easy to bullshit yourself when it's just you dealing with addictions, and you can distract yourself every day for eternity. But once you're in a partnership, you can't like bullshit the other person. You can't continuously lie. You can lie to yourself, but you can't keep lying to them without and still maintain a relationship.
Well, thank you for sharing that story. You know, the moral being that you would have gotten there anyway without the support structure. You could have done it on your own, but obviously support helps.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have it, you don't have it. I'm going to shift gears. Define integrity.
Doing what I say I'm going to do.
Okay. How about culture of excellence? I'm really curious to hear your definition of a culture of excellence.
Well, that requires consistency, and probably like one of the toughest aspects to test that is to own your mistakes.
Okay. That's good. That's good advice. Why is an attitude of gratitude important?
Attitude of gratitude is important because the hardest aspect of being human is like the negative self-talk that you have to deal with. And if you let that either run your life or project out of your mouth, then you're dealing with the consequences of that. An attitude of gratitude is how you battle that. You're able to focus on the silver lining in every situation. And it's a secret weapon of mine actually, is whenever I get into a situation where I'm embarrassed, I just made a mistake, my face gets flushed, I can't think, my prefrontal cortex shuts down, I can think about something that I'm grateful for, and it automatically like resets your nervous system. So even if it's like as simple as like, oh man, I'm just thankful for some blue sky, it automatically shifts your thinking from fear-based into gratitude, and your nervous system will start cooling down. So that's a secret weapon.
That's good. I'm still thinking about that answer. Well, I'm recording this. Hopefully, I'm getting the audio so I can listen to it again.
Yeah.
You kind of just answered my next question, but per your understanding, how does an entrepreneur interpret failure? How do you interpret failure?
Oh, and even failure, like, I think failure is not trying. Like, failure is actually when you don't move through it and past it, and you stop trying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't experience failure.
Oh, good.
It's not that I don't make mistakes. It's not that I I'm constantly making errors and making mistakes, but yeah, you move through them
Toward a goal.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to talk about the core entrepreneurial skills discussed in autonomy. And I've actually outlined 7. Well, I grouped sales, marketing, and copywriting into one because Richard Grove talks about them as communication skills, and I started thinking about them that way, and it really helped me embrace them.
Mm-hmm.
But, how much time do we have? We have a little bit of time.
We can go late because I started late.
That's okay. I don't think we'll need to. How do I want to do this? So I ran late with Tony, and I just decided it was the lightning round, and I asked him, so I'm going to do that. Which of these, I'm going to list the 7 critical entrepreneurial skills as I see them, and you tell me which one is the most important to you and your success? Critical thinking. Well, the next one's kind of similar. Meta learning and hyper learning. Sales, marketing, and copywriting. Public speaking. Listening skills. Leadership skills. And then networking, which is establishing rapport with people in advance of the need.
So, like, list of importance, is that what you're saying, asking?
Or maybe just, yeah, or which of those, one or maybe more than one, has played the largest part in your success? Or if you'd rather answer, which ones do you think you need to work on?
That's a better question, because they're all so important that you really can't get by without each of them. And then it's just learning about like what level of strength you are in each of those, and then learning like, oh, I need to improve in that area. So can't really say one without the others.
That's a fine answer too. I mean, I'll just share with you, like, networking, part of it for me, I didn't have a definition of networking. If I went somewhere, I thought networking was handing someone your card, getting their card, but establishing rapport with people in advance of the need, it's really, I started thinking about it that way. I'm a lot friendlier too, actually, rather than just sitting around worrying about, how am I going to get out of my job? How am I going to get away from this place? I'm not out of there yet, but I will be.
Yeah, I used to think that small talk was so inauthentic and such a waste of time. And I had extremely poor social skills. But I read a book called Art of Small Talk. The Art of Small Talk. And in there's a ton of great helpful ways to, well, first it gave me a framework that in order to get to deep conversation, you got to go through the shallow conversation, which is small talk. And so you can't just jump into deep conversation without that. And then it gives you a bunch of great prompts of just how to start small talk. And it's a tool that you can learn and put to use. And that's once you start with anything, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Those things, you start finding coincidences and similarities to your own life that gives you the material to keep talking and to build a relationship. So
I'm going to read it. Is it the fine art of small talk?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Easy read. And I read that early on, and it really turned on a light bulb.
I'm sure I'd benefit from it. What's your favorite part of the autonomy course? First time through. Of course, you were there from the beginning. You're responsible for the existence of autonomy, but
I got to help out. That's for sure.
Okay.
Favorite part? Oh man. Well, as I said, I kind of had my own momentum, getting sober and feeling really behind on all my skills, and so I've, over the last like 8 years, just been really kind of running a marathon on my own, trying to, what I thought was like catch up. Yeah. And now that I have a community around me that's like on that same marathon, realizing it's not a sprint, it's a long haul. And so community was really important to me to find and to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. Have you encountered any students in autonomy? This is coming right from the list, but I like this question. Espousing a victim mentality, entitlement, or have any been abusive in any way? And then if the answer is yes, how have you helped them overcome the victim mentality, entitlement, or the abusive aspect?
Well, not to be...
And don't call anyone out.
Yeah. Really, not really. It's hard to come across that because everyone's kind of handpicked by Richard.
Yeah.
Really creating a really high quality community to start with. But just just from being part of administration and wanting to maintain a healthy environment. There's areas that I keep an eye on just to make sure that people feel comfortable inside the community. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I've noticed that too. And also, people contribute. It doesn't become an echo chamber on the Discord, and it easily could, that sort of community, but I love it.
yeah, and like the community started off from tragedy and hope, but now it's becoming more welcoming and broader in scope. So we'll have a more diverse community coming up.
Yeah. 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 So I'm going into the lightning round. We're doing the
Cool.
lightning round. 4 minutes. Let's do it. Yes or no questions are acceptable, or excuse me, answers are acceptable. Have you been welcoming failure as an opportunity to learn and grow?
Yep.
Okay. Have you been scheduling success? And by that I mean, have you been putting it on your calendar?
I live by my calendar.
I'm learning to. Are you always investing your time, attention, thought, and energy toward their highest and best use?
Yep.
You never slip?
It's a strong balance of work, personal, and family that I have to give my 100% attention to, and so there's no room for anything less than that right now.
Yeah. Have you been triggering complexity?
Yeah, daily. Yeah.
Okay. Failing early and often? No, that's the same question. Have you been confronting your fears? Of late, since autonomy starting, have you confronted any new fears that you've discovered?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sensitive to that, to where if something comes across my way that is pulling me in a fearful way, then I know to lean forward into it now. So I'm pretty attentive to that.
Yeah, well, kind of want to probe you on, but well, let's move on. I know that you've been adding value where and when you can, and you've been maintaining motivational momentum. So maybe I'll ask, how have you been maintaining motivational momentum?
Well, what's cool about momentum is once you get going, you really get going. And so you just kind of keep your feet underneath you, and it's not as hard as just getting started going.
That's good to hear. I feel like I'm about to make a breakthrough with that any day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And last question: how have you been avoiding or overcoming decision fatigue?
It's not an issue for me.
That's interesting.
Not sure why that is. Everything I've done has led up to this moment. Everything has had purpose behind it. And so when something comes my way, it really has like it's like a divine purpose because it's in front of me. Like, because it's on my radar means it's something important. Otherwise, I wouldn't be aware of it. And so, and I have really clear values and principles. And so that really makes decision-making easy.
Well, now I just have to ask one last question. Just at a high level, what are your values and principles?
Oh, I got a video for that. I can show you.
That'd be great.
I've done work on defining those. And so real quick, I pulled this up from a workshop. I went to a workshop, but this is something that I've learned to identify myself with. This is what's important to me. Freedom through autonomy, understanding attained with learning, growth, and efficiency, power and appreciation through contribution and empowering others, creativity by transcending traditional rules and patterns to bring about progressive, meaningful methods and ideas, and to belong to a nurturing, regenerative community full of honesty and intimate connection.
That's beautiful. And you read it every day as a reminder?
Yep, I have it on my wall.
Okay. That's great. Joshua, this has been awesome. Thank you so much. This is really helpful for me.
Mm.
Talking to you, I talked to Lisa Manfredi. I had a lot of insights from her. Tony, um, I'm probably going to bother some more people. But,
Good
also,
on
I,
you.
I wanted to ask you the autonomyunlimited.com/apprenticeship. I
Hmm.
want I want to take part in it. I'm trying to get through this week and the next at my work, which are brutal. I took the afternoon off just so I could prep for this, so it wasn't such, so I wasn't so overwhelmed. But
Hmm.
I look at the areas of interest, and I'm tempted to just check every box.
Awesome.
Should I?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's yeah, because the way that we're configuring that is as projects come up, then we'll be able to look at who clicked on what and be able to like bring them onto a project because they're interested in it. We want to know your proficiencies, like if you are already uh, worthy of getting paid because you're proficient at that. Then we want to know, and then also areas of interest you want to explore. Like this, just because you're a great copywriter doesn't mean you can't, learn to be a video editor.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would like to get paid, but actually, the thing I'm most interested in is probably practicing sales, and I don't think I should be paid for that yet. But
Mm.
I'll have to think about it, and I'm not going to check every box. I'll narrow it down.
Cool, cool. Yeah. Well, Autonomy Unlimited is my meta autonomy project. So, uh, just by me helping put this production on has greatly benefited me, and this is kind of the manifestation of that, where I'm now doing what I want to do, and it just happens to be through autonomy, and also creating a platform so others have a I've already trailblazed, so you just need to follow the path that's already been compacted, and everybody can go through the course and then get real world experience. So I'm
Yep.
really excited to be working with others that have demonstrating the culture of excellence, and then be able to help freedom move forward.
It's really awesome. Autonomy is awesome, but Autonomy Unlimited is awesome because are you going to be expanding the skills?
Yeah, oh for sure. I'm already asking my paid freelancers to send me their skill set, so I'll be able to offer those to projects as they come up. And this whole thing is just built to grow and expand. So there'll be more apprentices being able to support the freelancers, to be able to support the clients, and it should be able to really get pretty big.
It's great. Oh, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much.
Gus, really nice to meet you, and I look forward to flipping the script on you.
All right, great. Anytime.
Cool.
Thanks, man.
All right, and tell me, when did you join up?
Uh, in the summer,
Oh, cool.
I saw. Well, I'm not a. I wasn't. I am now a Tragedy and Hope member, but I always followed Richard online. Watched
Sweet.
all his, yeah, a lot of stuff for years, and I always loved it. And I was looking. I decided I need entrepreneurship training because I started my little LLC. I have yet to earn a penny. Just working my full time job, never pulled the trigger. And then I said I need entrepreneurship skills, and I saw the Porkfest speech,
Mm.
which was great, and I couldn't wait for it to start, so I had to wait
Yeah.
until September.
Yeah, so you joined last fall,
Uh,
last September.
yeah, I'm
So,
season two.
so you participated in the whole season?
Oh, I did. I didn't miss a single lecture.
Awesome. Great. Great. Cool, man. Well, great. Well, yeah, I'm excited to, we'll continue to talk through Autonomy Unlimited and figure out your next steps.
Excellent. I hope so.
Sweet. All right,
Thanks.
guys.
All
Good
right.
talking to you.
You
Have an
too.
excellent day.
Thanks.
Bye, man.